Once upon a time, in a small village in India called Sundernagar, there lived a clever cat named Channu. He had soft orange fur and bright green eyes that sparkled with intelligence. Channu lived with a kind old woman named Kamladadi, who loved him dearly and fed him warm milk and rice every day. Channu was indeed a smart cat. He could catch mice faster than any other cat in the village. He could climb the tallest trees without fear. He could jump over wide walls and squeeze through the smallest holes. All the other animals in the village knew about Channu's talents, and soon Channu knew it too. "I am the greatest cat in all of Sundernagar," Channu would say, puffing out his chest. "No one is as clever as me. No one is as brave as me." The other cats would simply shake their heads and walk away, but Channu did not care. He was too busy admiring himself. One day, a small mouse named Raju was running through the village streets, looking for food. Channu spotted him and smiled wickedly. "Stop right there, little mouse," Channu called out. "You cannot escape from me. I am Channu, the greatest hunter in the village." Raju trembled with fear. "Please, Channu bhai, let me go. I have a family to feed." But Channu laughed. "I always catch my prey. Always. There is nothing I cannot do." Just as Channu was about to pounce, an old wise parrot named Mithu, who was sitting on a nearby branch, called out, "Channu, my friend, remember that pride comes before a fall. Even the greatest must know their limits." Channu looked up at Mithu and scoffed. "Limits? I have no limits, old bird. Watch me." With lightning speed, Channu chased Raju through the narrow village lanes. The little mouse was quick, but Channu was quicker. Round and round they went, until Raju squeezed into a tiny hole in a wall. Channu caught him by the tail just in time. "See," Channu announced proudly to anyone who would listen. "I told you, nothing is impossible for me." From that day forward, Channu's confidence grew even bigger. He began to take more and more risks, always trying to prove that he was the best. One afternoon, Channu saw a big black dog named Kalu sleeping under a banyan tree. Now, Kalu was known throughout the village as a fierce dog who did not like cats. But Channu's overconfidence made him foolish. "I bet I can pull Kalu's tail and run away before he even wakes up," Channu told his friend, a gentle cat named Moti. "Please don't, Channu," Moti begged. "Kalu is dangerous. You may be fast, but he is faster and stronger. You worry too much, Moti." Channu replied with a proud smile, "I know my abilities. I can handle anything." Before Moti could stop him, Channu crept toward the sleeping dog. He grabbed Kalu's tail with his paw and pulled it hard. Kalu woke up with a loud bark and jumped to his feet. Channu ran as fast as he could, but this time he had made a terrible mistake. Kalu was indeed faster. The angry dog chased Channu through the entire village, and poor Channu barely escaped by climbing up a very tall neem tree. Channu sat on the highest branch, his heart beating like a drum, his legs shaking with fear. Kalu barked angrily below for nearly an hour before finally walking away. When Channu finally came down, he was embarrassed but still not ready to admit his mistake. "That was just bad luck," he told himself. "Next time, I will be more careful." But the biggest lesson was yet to come. A few days later, a wealthy merchant came to Sundagar. He brought with him many goods to sell, including a large cage with a beautiful bird inside. The bird had golden feathers and sang the sweetest songs. The merchant placed the cage outside his temporary shop and went inside to rest. Channu saw the bird and his mouth watered. What a delicious meal that would make, he thought. And what a prize to catch such a rare bird. Everyone will call me the greatest hunter ever. Mithu, the wise parrot, was watching from a tree. "Channu," he called out, "that cage belongs to the merchant. Do not let your overconfidence lead you into trouble. That bird is not meant for you." But Channu ignored the warning. "I can open any cage," he boasted. "I have done it before. This will be easy." That night, when the village was quiet and everyone was asleep, Channu sneaked toward the cage. The bird inside looked at him with frightened eyes. "Please don't hurt me," the bird whispered. "Don't worry," Chanyu said. I am Chanyu, the cleverest cat in Sundernagar. Opening this cage will be simple for me. Chanyu examined the cage carefully. It had a complex lock that he had never seen before, but his overconfidence made him believe he could handle it. He pushed and pulled, twisted and turned. Suddenly, the cage door swung open, but it was a trap. The merchant had set up the cage specially to catch thieves. A net fell from above, trapping Chanyu inside. He struggled and fought, but the more he moved, the tighter the net became. Chanyu cried out for help, his proud voice now filled with fear and desperation. Kamla Dadi heard his cries and came running with a lantern. When she saw Chanyu trapped in the net, her heart broke. The merchant came out too, angry at first, but when he saw the old woman's tears, his heart softened. Please, sir, Kamla Dadi begged. He is just a foolish cat. He has learned his lesson. Please forgive him. The merchant looked at Chanyu, who was now crying with shame and regret. Very well, the merchant said. I will release him, but only because of your kindness. Hold, mother. As the merchant freed Chanyu from the net, the cat felt smaller than he had ever felt before. All his pride and overconfidence had disappeared. He had put himself in terrible danger, and worse, he had caused pain to the one person who loved him most. Kamla Dadi carried Chanyu home in her arms. She did not scold him, but her silent disappointment hurt more than any harsh words could. That night, Chanyu could not sleep. He thought about all his foolish actions, all the warnings he had ignored, all the times his overconfidence had nearly cost him everything. The next morning, Chanyu went to find Mithyu, the wise parrot. You were right, Mithyu uncle, Chanyu said with tears in his eyes. I was a fool. I thought I had no limits, but I was wrong. My overconfidence made me blind to danger. It made me deaf to wise advice. It almost cost me my life and broke my beloved Kamla Dadi's heart. Mithyu looked at Chanyu with kind eyes. My dear young friend, being talented is a gift, but knowing your limits is wisdom. Confidence is good, but overconfidence is dangerous. Even the strongest river knows it cannot climb a mountain. Even the highest bird knows it cannot swim in the ocean. We all have our strengths, but we also have our limits. Accepting this makes us truly wise. From that day forward, Chanyu changed completely. He was still clever and talented, but now he was also humble and wise. He listened to advice from others. He thought carefully before taking risks. He used his gifts to help others rather than to show off. The other animals in Sundernagar noticed the change and respected Chanyu more than ever before. Kamla Dadi smiled again, proud of the lesson her dear cat had learned. And Chanyu? He became truly great, not because he could do everything, but because he finally understood that knowing your limits is the beginning of true wisdom.